What you doing? I'm your Otakutainment, the AC Stories, with this Otakutainment Reviews stream for the 9th issue of Weekly Shonen Jump of 2025. I lost count. I don't have to say it anymore because it is 2025. If you watch my other reviews, you know, well, I was probably going to say how many we've done actually in 2025 so far. Is it 3? Maybe 4? I don't know. It doesn't matter. 5? No, it doesn't matter. I'm talking about, like you probably know, Weekly Shonen Jump. I don't know if you're watching this now, feel free to jump in whenever you want to, so we can talk about whatever. If you're watching this in the future, probably on YouTube, listening on Spotify, something like that, we can still talk about it in comments and stuff, but be sure to join me live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That might change. I might go back to something. I don't know. I'm always trying to figure out how things is going. But yeah, jump in. Be sure to join me every week because it's on a weekly schedule now, for now. And so will I. But yeah, I'm just going to jump right into reviewing some stuff. Unless somebody joins and wants to talk about anything specific, I will do my usual of starting with what is the least popular English side, at least, of Manga Plus. Just go up from there. I will say, series are ending. I added Ruri Dragon to this. Was Weekly Shonen Jump. I think is now just digital version of Weekly Shonen Jump, which is weird to say because I read all these digitally anyways. But I get compared to Japan, they release the physical, which, you know, just still jealous of that. I guess Ruri Dragon isn't part of that, so yeah, it's pretty much considered to just be on Jump Plus. But I'm just not going to bother. I haven't bothered, but I'm going to add it, if anything, out of just honorary. Also being in Jump and still kind of being digital Jump. It's a weird thing. So I had Ruri Dragon also because they didn't add a new series, which surprised me. They must do one next week because Undead Unluck ended this week. And I don't know, it'll just be a lot less series if they don't add it back. That I also kept that 20. I normally like odd numbers. I guess I could let it drop to 19. It doesn't matter that much. So let's just start off with, surprisingly, the least viewed every week for some reason, Me and Roboco. Chapter 218, Documentary and Roboco. And to say this one is silly, I mean, I guess that would be the manga. I mean, it is what it is. Roboco Tyra is on the documentary show 8 Hours in the Life. And, of course, we know Roboco's going to try to do everything to make him look better. But, you expect a lot more silliness from it. There's actually less than you expect. It's mainly a lot of lies. That's what you expect. But the silliness, at least, isn't played down in actions. It's actually more just what Roboco says. Stuff like giving a self-nickname of Konoha's Yellow Flash. Yeah, apparently Roboco is the 4th Hokage. And also a, like, blonde antebellum kind of hairstyle. Blonde, kind of curly going down. Besides that, it's just Roboco lying about how good of a robot maid actually is, and it's just not the case. Yeah, it's Roboco says hardworking in a sense, I guess, but not in the way. Also, a weird lie to just be like, oh, don't use any appliances, just to seem even more hardworking, but that just seems like unnecessary work you don't have to do. And then we actually get to watch the documentary in the chapter and how it plays out. I think I also said Roboco was trying to go for that, like, grizzled veteran, like, kind of bad attitude kind of deal, which we see when the documentary actually plays. It's just that weird silliness, but not over the top. I expected a lot of weird things to just happen, go wrong, get things to get crazy in the documentary, and it didn't. So yeah, it was a pretty mild chapter. Just lying, just not lying. You don't have to lie. Like, and that's the weird thing. If you didn't lie, the documentary would have been crazy. If you just let things happen how they normally happen. But no, that's not how it is. Anyways, that's all I really gotta say about me and Robocop. Let's move on to the other React manga that doesn't do well in English, but I somewhat enjoy. Super Psychic Policeman Chojo, the solo karaoke senior police officer. Hey, you love when stuff based off of audio is just printed. And I get it. I hope short stories I wrote about music. So yeah, anyways, Chojo and Pongi both suck at singing. It just started because Pongi was going to karaoke or something, or was wanting to sing, do something. Chojo also is like, yeah, I do solo karaoke, blah, blah, blah. Turns out they both suck. Pongi's described as like a screeching bird, and Chojo is just bad. And then Copbot takes a crack at it. Not bad, but robotic. I don't know. And I'm trying to picture what kind of robotic. Like, is it just very auto-tuned? Because they don't talk too details. They talk about just how it's kind of cold, bloodless. You don't really put your soul into it, that kind of stuff. So it's not bad, but my first thought was like, maybe it's like a MIDI file of whatever Copbot was singing, but I don't know. But this causes a whole argument. So now they have to train for a singing contest. Oh wow, Lily's there the whole time watching. Just the ridiculous of it all. I thought Lily at some point would start singing or put them in their place or do something. Lily's just there. I guess taking the kind of quasi narrator role of this, the audience perspective or whatever. But they go to the contest, and who wins? Really, before anyone else even tries, Mr. Guy. Chihiro Hosaka, don't remember. They must have said Mr. Guy's name at some point, but yeah, wins. So apparently both a great dancer and a singer now. And all the losers just go karaoke. That's it. I, of course, am curious of how they sound. I'm sure. Let's see. Me and Robocop is at 200 chapters. I don't know if this will ever get animated. This will probably be an interesting chapter to see actually animated or actually hear. I want to see or hear how bad they actually suck. I want to hear Mr. Guy sing. Ooh, I bet that'll be interesting. Just drunk singing. Hey, alcohol and karaoke. It's a good combo. I thought if I was to... Fuck, I'm probably never going to do it. I thought if I was ever going to do my PhD, it'll be on the relations of alcohol and music, such as like bar music and karaoke, and how there's always drinking songs all over the place. Yeah, so not only would I have alcohol and anime, maybe I should do alcohol and music. Wait, it doesn't have alliteration, but oh well. So yeah, that's it for Super Psychic Policeman Chojo. We're moving on to Hanku Chapter 17, Return and Reflection. I'm trying to get out of the habit of saying, oh yeah, this one's almost done, and it really feels like it's coming to an end. I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm trying to get out of that habit, but hey, this one. I don't know where it's going. Alright, so if you remember where it left off, they pretty much got denied even being able to enter the contest or whatever. So they're all just moping in their own ways, or coping, or just trying to think about what to do next. Seo thinks about the advice given as a coder, just adding too much or that kind of stuff. And then the sibling tries to con a game from Seo, and it's just like, oh, it's like, you should go play a game. And so it's like, okay, you want to just game? It's like, blah, blah, blah. Sibling stuff. Anyways, while that's going on, Hikuma has an encounter with an old bully, Sano. It's kind of nice to bring that back. And Sano tries the game out in the park. And gives an honest, I guess, opinion. The first person we actually see who's not just outright, oh yeah, this is so great, it's amazing, blah blah blah. It's just like, yeah, it's like fine. I don't think, I think it's mainly that it's just not my thing. I don't normally play that kind of stuff. So it's like, hey, that's kind of how reviews should be. But that's not usually. It's either I hate this or this is garbage, or it's like I love this, there's nothing wrong, it's perfect. No, I try to be somewhere in the middle. But yeah, and then Hikama is just like, oh yeah, I just wanted your input because I noticed how much into detail and how observant you are and blah blah blah. And of course Sano thinks the same thing back. It's like, okay, I guess. It's like being positive to your bully, which is pointed out. And it's like, okay. And then Noto has everyone meet up again because now it's time to prepare for a counterattack. Whatever that means, we don't know because that's how it ends, but be interesting. And if there's only a couple chapters left, or whatever that will be. Hang on. One chapter left? Is it? This could end on 18. Because I take back what I kind of said before. I do not think the Shinobi Undercover is going to end anymore. I think it'll probably last at least another run. It might end. No, it probably won't. So it could be that Hakutaku ends next week. I don't know. This is why I shouldn't try to speculate or guess. Or it should just be more positive and focus less on how things end and just what's going on right now. So yeah, that's it for Hakutaku. Let's go on to the manga that makes it's hard for me to be positive about. Nuo's Exorcist, chapter 83. I won't forgive you. I won't forgive you. Nuo's Exorcist. Other cool manga had to go so you could say, I don't know. Anyways, I've been thinking, trying to be more positive. What I like about this manga is the artwork, of course, is cool, and it's like another weird thing of it does a really good job of just being dark or black. There's a lot of darkness in it, without being too deeply into it. Like everything's still clear for how much black ink there is just everywhere. So that's kind of nice. That's a positive kind of thing. But yeah, so in this chapter, Kabane apparently is an impure child, someone who's affected by a hell before birth, and that's the reason Kabane can use two Shikigami. But besides that, it's just Gakuro easily turns the battle around, and it seems like Gakuro's gonna win. But is it really over? We don't know. We'll just have to wait till the next chapter. It's a pretty straightforward chapter. Just kind of some cool action-y stuff. But yeah, still just can't get into the manga. Oh well, I tried. I'm trying. Like I said. Anyways, next one, Witch Watch 187, a home resort vacation. Sounds so nice. And the weather is getting so nice. It'll be nice nowadays for me in real life, but it's not about me. It's about Chami being lazy, having something to do everything. Even though they're supposed to go to the pool to learn swimming, Chami the whole time is using excuses. One being doesn't want to get recognized. Is like, okay, I guess. And then decides to go to the pool with Nico. They still don't because the recognition kind of thing. And so Nico casts a spell that, okay, you read it, so you know what I'm talking about. I'll assume you read it. It's like their bodies are floating as if their bodies are floating in water. They're just in the air, but it's like they're in invisible water, except for the water's not there. So I assume they can't drown. Like if they was to stop swimming or floating and just sink, I don't think they would drown, right? And it doesn't ever show any kind of instance that might be a thing in this chapter, but it's an interesting kind of idea to think about magic. Wow. Anyways, eventually the spell does go wrong because they want to raise it a bit. I mean, instead of 10, I think it was centimeters to raise it. They raise, or 100 centimeters, they raise it 100 meters. And shoots up, but then that's too much power for Nico to use, so Nico passes out. And now Chammy has to swim in the air to a really tall building in hopes that the spell doesn't run out in time. And then I guess makes it, because next thing we know, we see Chammy and Nico just walking along, two small little children walking by themselves in swimsuits. So, and then people recognizing them, which is it's kind of a creepy thing. Like, when people really just turning and watching, I could go back and check the thing. Let me see. I want to see if people are recording for it. For some reason, in my mind, people are just standing there recording the whole thing, which is a weird thing to do, isn't it? I'm not going to ask that as a question. It's a weird thing to do. I'm just looking. Yeah, there's a guy. Oh, there's people. You can go check it yourself. I could pop it up here, but I don't want to. There, two small children in swimsuits walking down the street. There's what looks like two older women watching, and a guy with a phone out, just recording them. It looks like it's like that's no, in no circumstance, famous or not, recognizable or whatever, is that an okay thing to do? That's a weird thing. What excuse could anyone give if they got caught and be like, oh yeah, no, don't mind this video of two small children in swimsuits? At no point. That's bad. Ew, it's weird. It's just weird. Anyways, let's move on from that. To the Elusive Samurai. Hey, look, double spread. Chapter 188, intermission 1343 to 1345, and I did say it last week. I have had a thing against time skips that I think the Elusive Samurai is doing really well, and something I kind of really wanted. And instead of just like a time skip and then you kind of have flashbacks every now and then of what happened during the time skip, this is actually going through, taking the time, different points of the time skip to be like, this is what happens with these characters going on. That way when it gets back to the main story and how ever those events are going to start rolling out, we already know the things that happen. We don't have to waste time on flashbacks. I like what the Elusive Samurai is doing. It's finally glad someone's doing it well. Anyways, so the Elusive Samurai. I will say though, when it comes to reviewing them, it does make it a little bit more challenging to just be like, oh, there's all this cool stuff, because it's like things just kind of happened, just kind of rushed through it. So it feels like any kind of review is also just rushing through. It's like, okay, well, this is what happened, that's it. Apparently Tokiyuki repopulated a lot, considering if I'm understanding correctly, Tokiyuki was the last Hojo. And there's really three considerations for marriage, or three people to consider marrying: Shizuka, Ayaka, and Mima, or all three, because that's a thing they did back then. And then that's pretty much it, just on the Tokiyuki side. Then we kind of switch over to Takauji. Has a grown child that Takauji doesn't like. I don't know if this was the name before or after getting adopted. The kid's adult child's name is Ashikaga Tadafuyu. I'm assuming that's after it being adopted, because Tadayoshi is the one who actually ends up raising Ashikaga Tadafuyu. The reason is because Tadayoshi only really loved one person, doesn't like take concubines or anything, even though apparently it's okay, got permission to do it. So there's problem with having kids, so adopted Ashikaga Tadafuyu. I don't know which one's the first name. I assume since it's in English, Ashikaga would be the given name. Tadafuyu, I don't know how this relationship works. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all it really goes through, which is why I said it's kind of a weird thing to review. So I'm just going to go on to Kill Blue. Wait a minute. I skipped something. I skipped Astro Royale. Let's go back to Astro Royale. Yeah. Before I forget it. So, Astro Royale, chapter 38, verse Hachiku. This is another kind of straightforward, a cool moment kind of deal. We have... Well, first, they both reveal their powers to each other. First, it was Hachiku did for some reason. Of course, that part of the association, whichever clan or group Hachiku's part of, didn't like that and threatens the sibling's life. I don't remember the sibling's name. And then for some reason, Hibaru, just being sportsmanlike, I guess, also reveals a power and explains a little bit how it works, which I don't think we got yet, but it's also very brief and simple, straightforward. It's like there's 3 stages of it. They're at 10%, I think it was. It's just like the normal output Hibaru uses. 100% is what we've seen used before, with that really bad recoil. And then what Hibaru tries out in this fight and ends up winning with is 50%. Just, really big and powerful, but nothing special, at least to me. But it was enough to win, so I guess it works. And then after that, Hachiku is just obviously still mad, especially now losing brother's life is being threatened. So puts out the little exploding flame, but Hibaru grabs it and just chucks it at the association. Has Hachiku make it explode, and does. Follows orders right away. Hibaru's able to save Hachiku's sibling's life. I should have just learned the name. And then now it seems like the whole Japanese Yakuza Association are enemies with Hibaru, while Hachiku and I assume siblings, because I think there's another one. Another even older sibling, or just another sibling. So there's 3 of them, maybe. So they might all be outlaws now. So yeah, kind of pretty straightforward, but it was kind of a cool moment too. I'm glad they kind of had their little duo team up to kind of throw a little bit of power at the association. It was pretty cool. So now let's move on to Kill Blue. This is kind of really cool title page. I also haven't been talking about the titles that much. This one is a weird chapter. It just seems out of nowhere, seems out of place. I don't know, let's talk about it first before I give any more random speculations. So Nekota and Kakeru are training when Nekota reveals there is more of the kid candy med kits that can temporarily return Ogami back to an adult. Ogami decides to test it out right away, and apparently there's some nice surprise that we don't get to see because they keep it a surprise until the end of the chapter. But now they plan to finally take out Oka. So they use a day to just kind of acting like they're saying goodbye. Like this is the last day Ogami's gonna be there, and it could be like either things are gonna go bad, Ogami dies, yeah, okay, or things are good, Ogami becomes an adult, and you can't still go to a middle school as an adult, so I guess that's straightforward. But here's the other thing: is Oka was never really the main. The initial main villain, because I guess there really wasn't one, but the reason Ogami's at this middle school isn't because of Oka, it was for the other, or what's the other girl's name? I don't know. The other child, who's probably, twist and everything later, also adult, who also got turned into a child. Not confirmed, just saying, that seems like most likely what's going to happen. So that's the whole reason, it was to be a bodyguard for that, not to do anything with Oka, but it just seems like such a very finale kind of thing coming up. It just felt so rushed for no reason. I don't think it's ending right away either. It's just, it's a weird vibe, this whole chapter. But anyways, Once Ogami finally confronts Oko, we get to see the surprise was, yes, the candy helped turn Ogami into an adult, but not the older, kind of worn out adult. Hey, Ogami in the prime years of 28 years old. That's a weird way to say that. Ogami in the prime of life at 28 years old. Apparently, I'm past my prime. Ever since I was born, I've been past my prime. Anyways, and that's it. So stuff's gonna go down. We don't know what it is, and they just like meet in Oka's office. So it's not like some big, real, actual meet in a field or somewhere in a road or it's that kind of showdown. It's just like, oh, okay, you're here. Let's do this. So yeah, that's that. Now on to Sidcraft. For some reason, I thought this whole boat thing would be over, but no. Sidcraft, Love is a Mystery, Case 9, The Formless Fan, and the Great Detective's Determination. It's a decent chapter. Like I said, I thought the whole boat thing was over with. I guess it's still going because somehow Soulful was knocked out and had a bomb strapped on down in the lower levels. And of course, Sid's looking and finds Soulful. And I guess whoever did it was sneaky enough to get away with it. I'm coming up with some theories of who it could be. I'm kind of thinking it's Soulful. Soulful? Whatever. It could be. That'd be a twist, kind of. But yes, apparently the whole thing was orchestrated by Zero Craft. Oh, out of love for Sid or something like that. Even had a love note or letter, and apparently the combination to the bomb was in that love letter. It's like 1800 or something. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. I didn't use any logic to figure it out because Sid did. So yeah, the water's coming in because one bomb already went off. So Sid's trying to do that, but run out of air. That's when Soulful just takes Sid and gives air. Not a kiss, just giving air. Kind of. Oh wait, didn't that happen in I think that's happened in a lot of things actually. Anyway, I was thinking of Fairy Tale. Let me do that to I don't remember. Something like that. So that's it. They're free. Oh wait, they're free. The thief pops up, helps them out into an extra rescue boat. I'm trying to remember all this. For some reason I didn't take a note of this, but I remember there was a little bit more. And now they have to figure out who Zero Craft is, which I guess Sid's going to be determined to do now. And that's it for that chapter. Let's move on to... Woo! It's just such a good series, and a good one that I wish had more going on. And it's kind of... makes not too much sense what's going on with it. Akane-banashi, story 143. Very scary. What could be so scary about it? There's nothing really scary about it. Scary is maybe the pace it's starting to take. It's fine. So, Akane, if you need a reminder, now in Paris, is telling a story through Rakugo of someone acting afraid of manju buns, and just in order to get more. Which reminds me of Toradora with Minorin acting afraid of stuff just because knows more people will try to scare you if you act afraid. That's kind of this thing. People will try to scare you with more stuff, so you act afraid of manju buns. They try to give you more manju buns. And there's like... I will say, the very end, just the character in the story is just like, oh yeah, well, I'm also afraid of some tea just to wash out down. It's like, okay, that's clever. The whole time though, Kashio, the only person apparently who knows Akane's in Paris, it notes that Akane's using simpler or less words and gestures, but it's still just as engrossing, just like Shiguma. So really taking that to heart, even though, supposedly being trained by Isho, but maybe not. Maybe Akane really did just completely leave Isho, but we don't know for sure. But Kashio does actually get the chance to talk to Akane, who is really just chill. Even notice Kashio came in at the exact point. They have some talks. Akane's really seems kind of cryptic, not really saying too much. But then Kashio is like, when are you coming back to Japan? And Akane's like, I already told you. I would see you soon. And Kashio's like, huh? And then we cut to like a flyer, I guess, or like a playbill, what do they call them? With Akane's name on it. And it's like, oh, Akane's already coming back to Japan. Okay, so just 2 chapters in Paris. I thought this whole Paris thing would last a bit longer, which is why I'm like, that's kind of weird. It kind of rushed through that. That could have been a whole arc on its own. But no, you're still just going through it like it's nothing. That's fine. Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, so that's that. Yeah, so let's move on to Ultimate Exorcist. This one's kind of cool. Oh, I remember. I think it's cool and what I like about it, but it's just a joke that not many will probably get. So the Black Parade is coming on. They know the time because of Sakaki got the fortune, which, you know, didn't tell us what it was last time, but I guess this is what it is. And it's coming on June 6th. I don't know if there's any significance to that. I know, 6/6, but then you're like, oh, 6/6 at 6 a.m. No. Oh, okay. 4 a.m. because that it would be like the 6th hour of the day if you start at midnight. No, wait, is that true? No, 4, 3, 5 a.m. Yeah, 5 a.m. Yeah, whatever. No, it's at 2 a.m. And it's like, well, okay, I guess that doesn't really follow the 666 thing unless you're like me and you know nothing good happens after 2 a.m. It's a How I Met Your Mother reference. It might have come from something else, but that's where I know it from. So yeah, and it's like, oh, that fits perfectly. Yeah, so Sakaki tells everyone to just live like normal then. So Harai goes back to school. Oka apologizes, the person who summoned the one demon in the first place. And then we also see Harai needs to make it through this, because a week after this, there's going to be a sports festival, which was on Harai's list. I completely forgot about Harai's list. I feel like after seeing that again, this should have been brought up more. Like the list should have been a more important feature, but it gets too much on the demon exorcist side of things and kind of fell off of the slice of life kind of elements that it could have had, which I guess is fine. It's okay. But yeah, so all this going on, people trying to be normal, but then the time comes. The Iron-Blooded Knights show up. They're going to be the rear unit, while Sakaki and Harai are going to lead the defense. I guess be the main forces when the initial demons come. But yeah, things are going to be cool. It was a cool moment. Like, clock strikes 2, and then it's like, it's coming. It's like, oh, it's like you can feel it through the page, just like all the other characters are kind of feeling it. So that was a cool moment, even for something so simple, such a simple thing. It's like, okay, cool. Now let's go on to the series. I'm going to stop saying is ending because I guess it's not. Shinobi Undercover, Chapter 18, Precious Little Birdies. Huh. Hang on. Precious Little Birdies. I don't know why sometimes the chapter names throw me off a bit. Like, what was this one called? Oh yeah, June 6th, 2 a.m. Okay, for Ultimate Exorcist. Sometimes the title names just catch my attention. So what's happening in this is Makoto Yuki, a new ninja ally, is that kind of lady killer type. And the role was supposed to be clubmates with Aoi. But he's not in club, so Makoto wants to take Yorika's role. Then there's like some sneaky attacks Makoto does to Yorika just to prove they're better, until Yorika finally starts to retaliate. that's kind of it. That's all that really happens this chapter. I'm not that into this series either. It's kind of, I just don't know where it's going that much, and it's just not enough happening for me to really get into it. But I am going to make a prediction now that Makoto is actually a female, going to be the whole time, and while they're having their spat or fight or whatever, there's going to be some kind of pervy accident that happens that's going to reveal Makoto is a female. We'll see it, because that's what happens every time. If it's not, cool, that's fine. Move on with it, let it be whatever it is. But I just have that prediction. I just read it, I was like, yeah, this is probably a thing that's going to happen. It just seems like it's set up to be that way so much. And of course, you do that, Makoto's going to be a little less antagonistic, but also still kind of antagonistic. Probably take more of a tsundere kind of route. That'd be weird. And then this manga, in order to keep staying relevant or whatever, will just turn everything into a harem, because that's what everything has to be. Just like the next series, which I'm kind of already done and sick of. Hima 10, No, 27, Homemade Kana. I think this series just gave up, and it's just like, okay, let's just keep doing pervy things with Kana, because, oh no, we made the other characters kind of bland, boring, flat-chested. Let's give this other child boobs and just keep being pervy with them. Because that's it. That's all that's happening. And look, if you look at this picture, it's awkward. I don't really like the art of this that much, because everything just looks kind of off, weird. And then, like, just seeing this pose of Kana is just like, is that what? I don't think human bodies are supposed to look like that. You look kind of like an alien. The way, I don't know. Anyways, that's me being a critic. Whatever. I don't know where this series is going either. What's the point of it? Because it really does just seem like, okay, just gotta be pervy with the same child character. Let me emphasize that, child character. Over and over again. It's just like you going to move on with the story any? No, probably not. Not really. And I know it's like supposed to be a rom-com, and Kana's the new character, so you give a little bit of attention. It's giving a little too much attention in the wrong way. So that's it. Anyways, what's happening is Kana goes to Amori's parent to get hair treatment, who of course adores Kana. Is like, oh, kid finally has a potential love interest, blah, 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 because apparently Amori hasn't been telling about all the other ones that are potentially there. 3 now at this point. 4. Wait, no, 3. Yeah, probably gonna be more as this goes on. And then now, because there's an extra ticket that I don't want to go to waste, Kana's going to go with Amori and the other 2 younger siblings to the amusement park next chapter. Cool. So more Kana. Okay, that's it. Let's move on to my new addition to these reviews. Ruri Dragon Chapter 28. Cold Karage is nasty. I don't remember if I've had cold Karage. I don't think it'll be nasty though. But I also eat a lot of stuff cold. I'm sure it'll be fine. Anyways, so what happens in this? Not much, really. A lot of new people, like to call Ruri Dragon or Horn Girl, and really doesn't like it that much. But besides that, a lot of people, because it's the sports festival or some kind of festival going on, a lot of people want to use Ruri as a human scavenger hunt target. Where for some reason all the prompts seem to fit Ruri. It was like someone who stands out, someone with sharp edges, someone unique or something like that. I think there was one that was literally like someone with horns. It's like, okay, really on the nose with that one. And then there's just a lot of people by the end of it that want Ruri to just use breathe fire to heat up their food. That's where the name of the chapter comes from. Because someone is like, cold Karage's nasty. And I was like, oh, that's such a random thing to take the title from. And then it's like, oh, well, you heat it up with fire. It's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. And that's pretty much it. And Ruri, for the most part, seems just chill with it, going along with it. But it's also like, okay. Damn people. I get it. if there was like a human dragon hybrid in the real world, I'm sure everyone would be curious. It definitely wouldn't be this wholesome. It would probably be pretty shitty. But this is kind of like the shittier, closer to the shittier side. That would be reality if people saw someone like that. I don't know, but that was it. Like, it's kind of cute, just like chill. I mean, Ruri really is just a slice of life manga, so not much is really going on to begin with. But we're really starting to see people question the dragon or human side with this chapter. If anything, if you want to look real deep into it, so you can have that to pull from it. But yeah, let's move on to Blue Box 181. Not gonna miss. I don't think anyone does miss. Gonna miss my shot. Yeah. So not much really happens in it. I've said this before. I'm not huge into sports stuff, so I'm not huge in this manga. But what does happen is Chinatsu thinks back on the past 3 years, leading up to this point. That's pretty much it. It gives a whole lot of also kind of climax vibes to it. Here's the thing. If you told me this was next week was going to be the last Weekly Shonen Jump issue ever, and this is like the penultimate chapter for all these series, I can see it. I can see it. It feels like next week, so many of these series are just going to have their last chapter, and that's going to be the end of Weekly Shonen Jump. It's not, like I've said, but it just kind of feels like it, the way they do these chapters, and that's because every chapter has to like be like great and phenomenal, and so you keep having to have this kind of like on edge push, so they all start feeling like this. It doesn't have to, but yeah, while Chinatsu's just thinking back on this while still playing, Ame manages to take the lead back. While that's going on, Yumeka is talking to the coach, trying to get back in, and eventually does, but it's still not enough to stop Chinatsu from making another basket. That's it. That's all that really happens in this chapter. Yep, nothing else to add. So let's move on to Ichi the Witch, the one I was really excited for. And this chapter kind of was like, not. I wanted more. I just wanted more to happen, and I'm kind of disappointed how it ended. So, what happens? 19th Hunt, Magic Circle. The Magic Circle being when Ichi was knocked out or KO'd, whatever. That's the same thing. I don't know why I repeated that. Goes to the Magic Circle, which is like the inside of Ichi, where all the acquired magics just hang out. I guess losing consciousness and getting knocked out are two different things. Which something I've done in another project of mine, a distinction I made between like sleeping and getting knocked out. Very different things. I guess Ichi the Witch is doing it too. So because Ichi was knocked out, sent into the Magic Circle, actually talking to the magics. They're kind of just chilling, whatever. It seems like a nice place. Okay, but while they're all there, they decide to watch how Discaris is doing, and at one point, Togai does jump in, and honestly, even though you don't see too much of it, you can just tell Discaris is just humiliating this world hater magic. I wish we knew a name. I wish we got something, because even though Togai jumps in, tries using that mushroom magic, whatever, that kind of was stolen, but whatever. I guess you didn't really need it. The magic decides to just flee, say, be back soon, but that was kind of lame. And now has me just questioning. You can't kill the magic. You can only acquire them by doing their trials. And Discaris' whole thing, knowing that, was like, I'm going to make you reveal your trial. But that never happens. And then it's like, magic don't have to tell their trials? But are there any other ways to stop magic? I guess you could just keep killing or slashing them over and over and over again, and kind of like a torture kind of deal. But this one can teleport or whatever, portal away, so there's that. But then there's this whole thing of they're watching, And while Ichi's watching, it's like, I want to hunt you so bad. I want to be the one to hunt you. It's like, dude, nah. No, look, Ichi, I get it. You're kind of cool, whatever. It's funny to watch you. You have hunting skills. But let's be real. Move aside. This Chorus is the fucking star of the show now. Holy shit, this Chorus is so cool. I don't care about Ichi anymore. I want to see this Chorus go after this world here magic. And if it's not this Chorus that acquires this magic, I'm going to be so pissed because this Chorus is the one that deserves it. Oh, this Chorus is so cool. I don't care about Ichi anymore. And Togai's lame. Popped in just for a second. And whatever. I don't care about that either. But that's it. The magic flees. Now I have to see where it goes from here. Everyone's safe. Everything ends well besides getting the magic's trial or name. Either one. I want to be Discaris. I don't want Ichi to be the one to get this one. But it's also like, who would be a bigger antagonist, a bigger bad guy, if it's not going to be the world hater magic? So now it's like, well, where's the series going to go from here? It's going to have to be a lot more planning than just brute force, which is kind of cool. And since you can't just like kill the magic over and over again, you're going to have to think of some kind of actual plan to stop and force the trial out. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I guess the next chapters will just be recovery or planning or meetings and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the last chapter, a finale, a time to say goodbye, and kind of a good time doing it. Undead Unluck. No, what is that? 239 dead luck. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so there's quite a bit that happens in it. It's pretty much what you expected. Fugo and Andy are supposed to get married on my birthday, but like 4 years ago. August 1st, 2020. I remember August 1st, 2020 pretty well. Not much happened. I woke up, roommates just hid pictures of the Magician's Cast. One of my roommates hid pictures of the Magician's Cast around the apartment. I found them, and I drank a lot of sake, and watched Magicians. I made them watch Magicians with me. Yeah, because that's all I wanted to do. That's all I really cared about. And we were all stuck inside. And Magicians and sake. And yeah, good times. I miss that. Anyways. Yeah, so they're supposed to get married, but they're both missing. Yeah, so Fuko is mountain climbing and Andy is catching thieves in the jungle. It gives more about kind of their actual roles, but that's me just boiling it down. And now they're both like, the other one's like too. They're really thinking alike. So they decide to race and be the first one back so that they can be like top dog of the relationship, wear the pants in the relationship kind of deal. So they're trying to race back. They both catch helicopter rides. Hey, get dressed and all that. And they arrive at the exact same time at the end of the day to have the shortest wedding ever. It's really like, okay, you want to okay, we're married, that's it. They show up and it's like, okay. But is it the shortest if mostly everyone else was already there waiting the whole day? When does the actual wedding or ceremony start? Yeah. When it's supposed to, when people show up, or when the two people getting married are actually at the front saying the vows and doing the stuff and all that. I don't know. It was short once they got there. And then that's it. While all that was happening, everyone else was, you get the little the character description box of what everyone else has been doing up to this point. But yeah, that's it. That's how Undead Unluck ends. And at the end, it does say this was the story for everyone to get the greatest death ever, except for a finale. No one dies. Everyone's still alive. So how do we know if they actually got the greatest death ever? We can't prove it. I always joke about every story should end with everyone dying. The end. That way there for sure can't be any more story. And so far the only thing, there's been things where everyone's died, apocalyptic stuff, but the only story, manga, anime where everyone's died was Platinum Man. But then there's a whole bigger thing. It was like, oh, there was other stuff going on, and other people or entities watching and controlling this whole thing. So yeah, everyone should have died. If this is the greatest death ever, everyone should have died at the end. Then now we never know if it actually is the story of the greatest death ever. Not saying I want them all to die, but if that's what you're going for, you kind of have to deliver, right? Yeah. But on to the last few. Kagurabachi. We're at chapter 65. Imitate. Pretty decent chapter. So, what happens in it is, apparently Chihiro learned the Yai white purity style just from observing it. I guess it was just the one time or a couple times, whatever. Apparently it's a dying style. Only 2 other people have mastered it. Yeah, so the other person all upset about this. The way Chihiro is able to get it from observation, I guess, is mainly from the eyes, just being whatever. Of course, Chihiro's parent, the blacksmith, also had that because he had to be really careful when crafting these magical swords. Otherwise, bad things happen. So you have to be able to watch really carefully. And I don't know how else you are testing or watching or making sure, unless you're just watching, because I don't think you're touching it with your bare hand. I don't think you're tasting it or smelling it. I guess it must be mainly you're watching. I don't know. Anyways, so after that they escape. They go to a place called Kyoto Bloodshed Hotel, where they can't be detected, but if people can still come to it and snoop around and stuff like that. Apparently the hotel is always growing. I don't know how tight-lipped the manager of the place is, and they're going to give away other people at the hotel. Probably not. Or it probably is pretty tight-lipped and, good with privacy. Probably really strong too. So I bet there's going to be. Oh, I hope there's a fight with this manager and the other baddies. Oh, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So they're talking about what to do with Iori. Just hide out for a while. The seal will be done. But Chihiro decides, because Iori's already, the seal's already weakening, already has a feeling something's wrong. So Chihiro decides to tell Iori the truth and let Iori decide to be sealed or not. And I assume that's going to happen next chapter. We're either going to see Chihiro tell everything, or it's just going to jump to after Chihiro's already said everything and pick up from there. I don't know what's going to happen in the next chapter. But let's just move on to Sakamoto Days. A very straightforward chapter, I think. Cool. It's a cool action-y thing to read, but not much for me to talk about, I think. Which I feel like it's been just Sakamoto Days since I've been reviewing it. Anyways, I have one line for this. They, mainly Sakamoto though, fight a piano assassin who just keeps sending goons out, and they win pretty easily. That's it. That's all it is. And the piano assassin uses sound and stuff to kind of give signals, turn out lights and stuff like that. Sakamoto uses Shin to read the minds and know the location of the goons in the dark. But I don't know how just reading minds gives away position, because as far as I know, not thinking of my own position, but I don't know. It's a weird thing. I don't think that would entirely work, but it does. They won easily, and that was pretty much it. That's the chapter. So let's go on to the last series of this issue. One Piece, of course. One Piece is great, especially now. It's getting intense and so much mystery and just exploring and so much lore, history for this world now. One Piece, chapter 100. Keep doing that. Chapter 1137, introducing Shamrock. Holy fucking shit. That makes sense now. I don't know. That makes sense now. I'm so dumb. when I read the chapter title, this one stuck out to me, and I didn't put it together after I read the chapter about what does introducing Shamrock mean. And I'm not going to tell you until I get to that point in my review for it. So, Luffy, Nami, Zoro, and Roto explore the castle, Harold's old castle, which apparently has been untouched for 14 years. No one even dares to go up to it. They get some like history lessons about what went on there, mainly the battle between Harold and Loki. They eventually find out Hardruden, if that's how you say it, also Harold's child, the first child from a giant from a different nation, which they came together. Apparently Harold and the ancient dragons also have horns, which Harold apparently ripped out and was left with scars. We see like a portrait on the wall at some point, which is pretty badass. I don't know how that actually works. It seems pretty fucked up. But yeah, we just get that little lesson and learn more info on that whole thing, while it then cuts to Loki, who is still refusing to help the Holy Knights. I don't remember exactly if he even tells what Loki's part would be in it, but they're not happy. And then we finally get the reveal of not Shanks, or I guess you could say we are introduced to Shamrock. Yeah, Shamrock's a person. I assume a person. Figureland, Figarland, Shamrock. Hang on, how? Figarland, or is it Figarland? Figarland. I'm going with Figarland. Shamrock, who is apparently the child of Saint Garling. That's the name so similar. Who is one of the 5 elders? And I'm getting mixed up. Not mixed up, just the names. Names are weird. And Shamrock is also the commander of the Holy Knights. Yeah, it's not Shanks. Now it makes more sense why. It makes more sense why Shanks is so impressive, because if they're related, there's that connection of Holy Knights to the 5 elders. I kind of wish Shanks would just be a regular person who just got really strong from effort, but I guess that can't be so. But yeah, we got that reveal, and so now it's time for more hypothesizing. More guesses as to what this whole connection is. Yeah, I guess they're siblings, cousins, maybe. I don't know. I kind of wish Shanks were just normal, but it's whatever. Everyone has to be connected in some way. We're finally seeing that connection. Now we just gotta wait, because Luffy and the gang is now starting to catch up, and we're going to see what Luffy's reaction to all this is going to be. One Piece is so cool. I'm so glad I started reading the manga again instead of just sticking with the anime. Oh, it's been worth it. But yeah, that is going to be it for this Weekly Shonen Jump issue 9 of 2025 review. Whew, it was a good. I like this issue. There's a lot of good stuff in this issue. Like I said, it just feels like. I think because everything is just ramping up in a lot of stuff, and it just feels like it's getting to a finale for the whole magazine, which is a weird thing to say, but things are just getting cool. I'm really liking it. I'm liking where things are going and getting more into it and all that stuff. But yeah, that's going to be it for this and for my Otakutainment reviews. Thank you to anyone who watched. If you're watching in the future, be sure to join my live streams. Also going to be in the future, like I said, on Twitch. Probably 8 p.m. Eastern time. I might change it again. I don't need to, but I might. Oh, fuck me, dude. I gotta decide on this stuff, because I don't know. Time is weird. But yeah, join me if you want. If you want to talk about anything, like I said, I can jump around. It doesn't bother me that much. But yeah. Oops. Thanks to all of you. Thank you, especially though, to my Ko-fi members, Vic Slab and Julio Vasquez. If you also want to help support me on Ko-fi, you don't have to. I try to keep it cheap for everything, and I'm going to be having more coming to it. But I appreciate anyone who even considers it, and anyone who listens to all my stuff. But that is it for this Otakutainment Reviews. I have been your Otakutainer, the AC Stories. Until next time, bye.